So, hello everyone. I hope I need to make some um, technical tests just to be sure that everything is working, but it looks like. I see that Mogul didn't join yet, so I need to check your questions afterwards. Um, Let us start with the Saturday Bitcoin market analysis. To be fair, I didn't check today the data, just in the morning and a few hours ago. We will see if they are going to surprise us, but well, weekends, it's always a candy box. We never know what's going to happen next. Well, let us start with the weights ratio, the daily time frame. Let me check here. Yeah, the color. Okay, everything works fine. Well, I'm taking the 30 days moving average just to see some trends, and we can see here that the weights ratio was rising. It was in a upward trend. It seems it's declining a little bit at the moment, but it looks like whales are sending even more bitcoins to the exchanges. The most interesting part, in my opinion, here is still the stablecoin supply, but also the reserves on exchanges. I mean, it keeps maintaining higher than just in mid of October, but it has risen, but it's declining since then, and that's the big question: what's going to happen next, right? So let us check the 1 hour time frame. I'm not talking about the net flow here because yeah, it's almost red, just indicating outflows. I have my doubts if yeah, this in and outflows are accurate because it's not. I don't know. It looks a little bit strange compared to the price action and to CVD. To be fair, well, the 1 hour time frame. Let me check here. That's the net flow, but yeah, it's always the same. Also here, I would like to use the moving average instead. I mean, we can see that a little bit. It looks like it's declining, and that's exactly what we can see here. It was rising, and now it seems it's declining. So they are sending less Bitcoin to the exchanges, but we are still in a very high level, still too high. And we need to see what's going to happen if they are preparing maybe something today. At the same time, we can see some just a few days ago, since the 21st, the stablecoin reserves on exchanges reached something like a bottom, and since then it's rising again. Usually, when that's rising, that means people are bringing stablecoins back to the exchanges. They are buying Bitcoin, altcoins, whatever, and so the stablecoin reserves rise. Another reason could be, of course, that exchanges are just filling their reserves. And usually when you have such kind of pump in the reserves, that could be an indicator that is driven by the exchange solve. But even then, that would indicate that they are expecting a higher demand, a rising demand for stablecoins. Okay, that wouldn't be that bullish, of course, because that means they are expecting that, well, I mean, we have two ways. They are expecting that much more people with fiat would like to convert in stablecoins, but on the other side, maybe more, maybe they are expecting such kind of sell-off, and of course then people need more stable coins just to convert Bitcoin or Ethereum, any altcoin to stablecoin, and then to leave or to convert in fiat, to leave the exchange or to convert in fiat. So we need to see what's going to happen, because that looks really strange. That didn't happen since a while. And yeah, the stablecoin supply keeps declining. I have checked the redeemed USDC maintains very high. That's really, I don't like that, because did I close that? No, it's here. So just to bring that information a part of the wealth ratio. That's the USDC redeemed chart since 2018. And I mean, we had last year, I remember many were saying, hey, be careful. We had a higher redeemed related to USDC, to stablecoins in general. But compared to what's happening since few months, that's nothing, because that's really huge. And usually that would indicate that people are living and exiting from the market. Maybe they're expecting a long or a midterm bear market or something, and they said, it's not for me. It's possible. We know that a lot of retailers just are just observing the market, but it seems they are not actively trading anymore, because the data is showing that the count of wallets for depositing but withdrawing just dumped very hard. And that's, of course, an indicator that less traders are on centralized exchanges, and that's not bullish at all. Another one thing that's not indicating that we are in a bull market, and also not indicating that we are flipping. It still looks very weak at the moment. So let us take a look to the spot market. And yesterday, for example, that was really interesting, because I was expecting something big tonight, but it didn't happen. Yesterday night, we received almost 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, yeah, 4,000 Bitcoin. Okay, that was, they have started almost 24 hours ago, and they did it, yeah, just in a period of 5 to 6 hours. Since then, flat. Then we received such kind of a little bit of Bitcoins, but nothing big. The question is, what happened to all these Bitcoins? Because these Bitcoins, we are talking only about spot exchanges. So you can buy, you can sell, but not derivatives, not futures, no options. And that's the big question. I don't see at the moment those 4,000 Bitcoins here, because we are trading since yesterday with a very low volume. I mean, that's really strange. And that's maybe another indicator we need to be very careful, because we will talk about CBD later. I have detected a move by Coinbase that looks also very strange, and we know on Coinbase a lot of institutionals are trading there, and institutionals love to buy. So just really, that's a very typical move by institutionals. Sideways run, and then the question is up or down. They're accumulating, but they quick accumulate to bring some moves afterwards, up or down. That's something we need to figure out today. But it looks like last time where I said, that smells like institutionals are preparing the next move, and it's happening again. So we need to be very, very careful. I think this weekend something is going to happen, and in my opinion now, And we need to check more data. It doesn't really look bullish. Um, so yeah, to spot market, also here stablecoin net flow indicating more or less inflows. It's flat. But that's weekend. That's fine. We had here 40 million a negative net flow indicating 40 million stablecoins, more outflows than inflows. Okay, but that's nothing. That's really nothing. Let's just talk about futures. What's happening there? We can see here the funding rate is declining. It's just indicating that we have a higher demand for shorts than for longs. That's very interesting. But we will see the data is showing us the opposite. We have more longs than shorts, and even we can see that also. Let us take a look here. That's if that didn't change. No, it didn't. So, as mentioned several times, for me, Binance is the key exchange when it's related to futures, because it's the biggest one where the retailers or the most of the retailers are trading, and that's usually a very good indicator to see what's going on. I mean, okay, forget Bitfinex, they are longing always. Forget BitMEX because it's not big enough. But we have Binance, and that's really crazy. We are talking about 2.6 billion in longs versus 800 million in shorts. So the question is, who is shorting then? Let us go back. Okay. So we can see the funding rate, that's the aggregated, is declining. The open interest at the same time is rising. Also the leverage ratio is rising. So that's very interesting because it's just to make a little summary. Someone, or in general, they are placing more contracts, more shorts than longs with high leverage. And that's what's happening at the moment. But Binance is not showing that. That's a big question. What's happening? Well, I can tell you what's happening because if we check, for example, what is FTX doing, we can see we have a big. Well, it's not that big, but big enough, at least it growth since yesterday. We have a big short liquidation volume, very close to the current price, indicating they are trading with high leverage. But that's exactly the opposite of Binance. And you know, my thesis is that FTX is one of the main driver of the market. So is FTX shorting while their retailers are longing? It looks absolutely different, of course. That's something, as mentioned, Coinbase is accumulating quick. That happens once and afterwards we dumped. So I'm a little bit struggling at the moment. So we can see here, for example, the stablecoin net flow also related to the derivative exchanges. It's almost flat, more indicating more outflows than inflows, or a little bit more inflow it seems. And we can see here that's also very flat. That's actually the Bitcoin inflows or outflows related to derivative exchanges, and it's indicating almost nothing happening there. Absolutely nothing. It's almost neutral. So it's very interesting what's happening here, and just to see that, for example, FTX is trading exactly the opposite of Binance. So yeah, we need to see what's going on there, and maybe we can figure out. Let us go like I'm doing the daily analysis. We have here my chart with different entities. We have the little whales, they have wallets with 10 to 100 Bitcoin, that's the yellow one. We have then the next bigger one, that's wallets with 100 to 1000 Bitcoin, that's the red one. And we have the bigger one. In my opinion, these guys are the market makers just because of their trade behavior. And we have here wallets with 1000 to 10,000 Bitcoin. If we check here what happened, well, first of all, the little whales, the yellow one, what are doing them? Well, it looks like they're little accumulating, but if we check, they are not really accumulating. I mean, yes, they have raised a little bit their balances, but it's not really big. Okay, we are not talking about huge accumulation. If we check here, they had 4,240,000 and we are now 20,000 bitcoins more. That's not really big for such entities. If we check, for example, the next one with 100 to 1,000 bitcoins, the red one, for example, we can see these guys just did a little accumulation that was related to the pump here where we reached almost 47k or something. And well, they trade and make little profit and then they are selling. And they are really just selling. I mean, maybe they need such kind of bottom to refill their bags and to start to sell and buy and just to make profit, but that's not the usual accumulation like we have seen last year in summer, for example. And the same is happening here with these guys, and that's my favorite one, with 1,000 to 10,000 bitcoins. And well, I mean, they have started to buy or at least to raise their balances with Bitcoin when the price have started to decline. And the price here was, let me check, 48k. Okay, that was 48k. Here we had 48k. So when we have started to lose the 48k, they have started to sell. So also you can see they have a very nice trade behavior. So in my opinion, they triggered just the dump just to sell and to make more money because they both just they have started to both here, and you can see the price that was here 33k, and you can imagine for them that was a nice, actually a nice trade. So however, they have started to buy again, but since then nothing is happening. They sold a little bit, they bought a little bit, they sold again, and they bought a little bit, but that's nothing. They are just moving sideways, and that's very strange. But as mentioned last time, when this guy starts to buy big or just to refill their bags like they did, we need to be very careful because that's also an indicator like what I have told you about institutional sideways run means quick accumulation, and afterwards we should see such kind of, yeah, how should I say, such kind of extreme price move. That looks like a preparation for me. That looks like these guys are waiting for something, and I'm not sure for what exactly, because I'm tracking them, and I have another chart, and I show you both charts. Oh, let me go back. This chart here is showing those entities what I have showed you in the other chart, and we can see here that the entities with 100 to 100 bitcoins to 1,000 bitcoins are very active at the moment, very active, indicating that these guys are, in my opinion, selling. I mean, we are not talking about huge volume. That was 1,400 Bitcoin, and today they sent, it seems, or they had a fund flow of 900 Bitcoin. It's not huge, but it's an indicator. It's showing these guys are selling, and it matches very well to the spot CVD. And we have, of course, the small whales. Those are also very, very active. Not yeah, I mean the best day was here with 2,600 bitcoins. That was 21st of April, but we have weekends, so that yeah, it's it's just declining, right? You can see that, so it's declining. So the only ones they are very active at the moment are the other ones, the red ones with 100 bitcoins to 1,000 bitcoins. Strange here, and that's another thing, very strange, because these guys were very active in the past, is the market makers, or at least those where I say and I expect these guys are the market makers. Let me disable the other ones. Very, very inactive at the moment. Yes, they had here 1,000 Bitcoin, we had here 1,000 Bitcoin, another 1,000 Bitcoin, but we had here 5,000 Bitcoin, we had here 5,500 Bitcoin. These guys are the main, in my opinion, these guys are the architects of the dumps. And that didn't happen here. So they sent, but not that huge amount like in the past. And that's also something very interesting we should have in mind. While the other whales, as you can see, are selling big. I mean, they sent here almost 5,000 Bitcoin, for example, and then the price dumped hard. So, in my opinion, they are not accumulating. In my opinion, they are just making some quick profits. Okay, they let dump the price, they accumulate quick, then they go. I mean, that's usual bear market stuff. That's just fake rallies, sell the top, buy the dip, go up again, and they use futures, it seems. But what's wondering me is, taking into account the CVD, is they are selling more than buying. So yes, they are using this kind of quick accumulation to make quick profit, but when they start to sell, they say more than they have purchased before. Just to make a little bit clear. So let us see. Let us talk about the market drivers, or at least let us talk about the CBD as next. And then we go over to the exchange walls, and um, we need to talk about the options, but it's weekend. Options and weekends, that's really strange to see a big trade, but we will see. What I have noticed here is Coinbase. Let me check. That's Binance. Binance, as you can see, that's the CBD spot related to Binance. It's not really happening anything special. The only thing we can see, it's the aggregated futures with Bitcoin. While stablecoin futures are really flat, they are declining, nothing is happening. So my theory, that means we should go up instead, right? But we need to see. Um, so let us go back. That's Bitfinex USDT pair. Also, yeah, rising a little bit, but we are talking about just 50 Bitcoin, so nothing big. The USD pair related to Bitfinex, just flat. They declined very hard. They have sold even more than before. And then we have Coinbase. And I think, wait, what the hell is that? So everyone is selling, but Coinbase is the only one buying, and it matches very well. If you see, it matches very well to the Bitcoin margin futures. So the question is, what is Coinbase planning? Or at least Coinbase whales, institutionals, whatever. I really don't know. And that matches very, very well to what I have said before about institutionals and sideways runs. So the problem right now that I have is just because they are rising, it doesn't mean we are going to dump, because they would use, of course, these. Let me check. They accumulated, let me see, almost 1,100 Bitcoin. Now you would say, wow, Inspo, 1,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, but check our current volume. Weekends, that's a lot. That's really a lot. If you want to dump the market with that, you would be very successful. So they are planning something. Coinbase is planning something, and I don't have a clue at the moment if up or down. And hopefully the exchange walls or maybe option trading will bring some light here. But what I don't like, I'm shorting, so that's the reason why I say I don't like that, is that here. Usually they would use this strategy if they want to go up. Otherwise, I would like to see the stablecoin futures go up, and they are not going up. It's very strange. Maybe I'm wrong and nothing is going to happen this weekend, but I can't imagine that. I don't know. But this here and this here is telling me institutionals are preparing a move. Oops, sorry. So let us go back, and we can see here FTX as well, just declining, aggregated CBD declining. I mean, they declined until here, and at least I can say they are maintaining, they are holding. They are not buying, not really big, or at least some are selling and Coinbase are buying. As we are talking about the aggregated one, it's almost neutral then. And yeah, you can see here that stablecoin futures just down and BTC futures rising. And that's something where I say, that looks a little bit tricky. Let us see if we can. Oh, that's. Oh, yeah, thanks. Let us see if we can see something here interesting for us related to option trading. Maybe if the market maker is planning its next move, he is also just placing some option trades, and that could be helpful. Because I know something is going to happen, but at the moment I could say up or down. Well, you remember I told you that the gamma call put wall was at 42K. Well, they shifted now back to 40K, so that's the problem right now. 40K was the support, and now it flipped to resistance. So the question right now is, what's going to happen here? Are they maybe planning to cross 40K and to go up again? They tried twice and they failed. Let us check here. So they tried here once and they tried it here, and both failed. So that's something where I would say, I'm not sure. I mean, the price right now, it's making exactly the same move like it did before, right? So what would be an interesting move? A bullish one at least? Something like this here. Okay? As long it maintains here, I mean, the worst case for bulls would be something like that here. However, we are talking about 40K, and you know, and I have mentioned several times already, we have three key zones here. 40K because the gamma wall, we have 39.2 because of the POC, and we have 38.5, actually that should be a little bit more up, because 38.5 is the last step, the rescue boat for the bulls. If we lose that, what happened to my chart here? Sorry. Then it's over. Then we will dump very hard. I'm convinced we will dump very hard then afterwards. And so it makes sense just to retest the 40K. I mean, we have the trend line here. That's a long-term trend line. They are retesting the trend line mostly, but the 40K is our key level for bulls. We need to go up even more. Otherwise, if we retrace the trend line or the 40K and we go down, we will see 39.2 at least again, and I guess then 38.5. And then we need to see what's happening next. But that's at least what I can see based on the data. So I don't like such kind of sideway run because, I mean, I like that if I know if we are going to go up or down, because then it's very nice just to place your future trade. So let us take a look to the options again. As mentioned, 40K is our key level at the moment. Let us take a look, for example, here to our okay, that looks also very interesting, to our GEX. So our GEX rise start, you remember, and then we have started to dump. We dumped to even to a minus, to a negative GEX, and then we lifted up a little bit, and now we are again in a positive one. Usually when that happens, I mean, that's, yeah, about 26,000. It gives us enough space just to go even more down. The question, because in the last times we did minus 36, and I should go and make it maybe 6 months. That makes more sense. And we can see that more in that view. Usually we are here something. So we should have some space. But of course, and that's the problem, again, GEX at the moment is not indicating if we are in extreme. GEX, it's mostly very interesting where you are in extreme, in a top or then a bottom side, right? And at the moment, it's, I would say, more in the bullish area, but however, we could still go more down. So the GEX, it's not indicating something very useful at the moment. So let us take a look directly. Change the color, please. Let us go directly to statistics, and then we can see if something happened. Short strangle. Okay, but I think low volume. Yeah, 24 millions. That's nothing. That's weekend, so that's a big problem. But however, let us take a look. Maybe it's short term, at least that could give us a very nice indication. Short strangle. Well, I mean, 230,000 in premium, that's not that low. That's short strangle here. That's May. I mean, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sell, 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 sell. Not helpful. Absolutely not helpful. Do we have another one? Short risk reversal. Yeah, short risk reversal. 36p, so puts 36 and sold 40k call, and the same here, but not big. I mean, he did a very nice trade with premium, sold for 68,000 in premium, bought for 21 in premium. So that's not helpful. No, unfortunately not. Well, then let us take a look directly to the exchanges and see if we can find anything there. What happened to Trading Light? Let us go directly to Coinbase. Ah, wow. Wait. Okay. Okay. Well, that's what I said. I didn't check the data before, so I'm a little bit surprised. Coinbase looks like, I mean, they did just two orders in a row. We need to see if they maintain that price range. If yes, and they confirm that they are placing or forming such kind of wall, that means these guys are looking more for the downside. We have here at 40,200. Yes, we don't need to discuss about the volume. 120 Bitcoin is nothing. But these guys don't just use Coinbase. They use different exchanges with trading bots and so on and so forth. So that's an indicator. They start to play such kind of walls in different exchanges. We have here, but that's just one order, and if you see, I mean, they limited the way down here, they limited the way up here. So Coinbase is very active at the moment, and the most interesting part is that here. And just because we have two orders in a row, we just have one order here. If we start to see more orders here, and for that we need to see, well, let me check if I go to 15 minutes. It looks interesting. It looks very interesting. So we don't have any orders up. We still have orders down, and these are old orders. Yeah. I'm spending just a little bit more time with the Coinbase chart because of the CVD related to Coinbase. It's too early here to say what's going to happen. We need to check and to track that. But in my opinion, Coinbase is trying to limiting the way up. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, I think they want to push the price down. So it wouldn't wonder me if they try to go up and then down, something like. We need to see. Let us check more exchanges and to see, because they are using different exchanges for such kind of operation. Derivate, okay, very interesting, was limiting the way down here, but nothing that's useful. No, Bitstamp, okay, come on. Yeah, nothing. Binance, huh, okay. So Binance here at 40,500 with 130 Bitcoin, and here at 39 with 319 Bitcoin. And as you can see, they are more limiting the way down than up. Bitfinex, you see nothing. Okay, that's interesting here. They reduce the volume here. I don't know why. And here it's also very interesting. You can see perfectly the price. That's like a mirror. That's just spoofing algos and yeah, actually everything that's related to Bitfinex, of course. So if the X, oh, oh, okay, now it's now it's more clear. Okay, yeah, well, we can see that now. They are limiting the way up. That's not in their interest to let the price go up. And they did it in the past. And you remember what happened, right? When they do the opposite, like in the last last week, the price goes up. I mean, they went a little bit down, but then it went up. So it's very interesting that they are placing those walls here. It's also not that big. We are not talking about thousands of bitcoins, but that's also a signal. That's an indicator. They don't want to let the price go up. The first wall it's at 40,400 and then 40,700, 41,000, 41,350. And just a little wall at 37.2. Wow. If they do that, if they let the price go down, and I mean for me, you can see that FTX, that's also the CBD, FTX it's not bullish. It's absolutely, they are very bearish. That's not the first time that we detected that. But if they let the price go down to bounce here, that's a perfect bear trap because below 38.5, that's absolutely bearish. And if they let the price bounce here and then go, they could liquidate a lot of people then. We need to see, but that's FTX once again indicating these guys are the main drivers. Okay, yeah, BitMEX at 38K. Binance Futures, one of the most interesting one. And here, okay, we have here a little wall. That's longer, that wall here. But look that. And they are pushing the price down while just before they push the price a little bit up. It's absolutely under control. It's absolutely under control. And this here is at 38.5. Yeah, as mentioned, 38.5 is the main key level for bears. And that's where I'm struggling with FTX because that will be pain. That will be really pain because my expectation was something like zack, zack, and down. Then it's over. But if they let it bounce just here, for example, they would wreck me. So nice to see that, because I need to be very, very careful with my short then. So 38.5 for Binance keeps being the key level. They have here 500 Bitcoins waiting. Of course, controlling the price, as you can see at the moment, just bringing more pressure from the top and less from the bottom. So the price should even go a little bit more down. So at least it could now go up again to 40K, make a retest, go again here, then they would make a little double top and then down. So that's something we should have in mind, because that's a scenario that I have just seen now in the chart. So Bitfinex, yeah, a big cluster here, but nothing big. And that's it. FTX spot, okay. 37.5 again. Sam. 180 Bitcoin. That's, of course, that's not huge, but it's an indicator. Okay. Let us make just like a summary. Futures, at least we go back to if blockchain whispers is right, we have much more longs on Binance than shorts at the moment. If the aggregated chart here is right, they are demanding at the moment more shorts than longs. Then that's what the funding rate is saying. The funding rate is not telling you we have more shorts at the moment. It's just the question of demand. It's not the question of, that's not like an open interest. Okay, the open interest is indicating you the currently placed contracts, but not the funding rate. The funding rate is just indicating you a trend, a demand. When the demand of shorts is bigger than on longs, shorts has to pay to longs, and the opposite when it flipped. So just the only thing we can read here is they are placing right now, they are demanding more shorts at the moment, while the open interest is rising. That's the only thing. Not saying all contracts right now are just shorts. They are just demanding more shorts. That's the only thing. So that's something we should have in mind and be very careful, because when market makers or these big guys starts to short, and that could be an indicator by this funding rate, it would make sense, because that's confirmed also here by FTX, and we have seen FTX is limiting the way up, so also that would fit very well. Binance is showing more longs than shorts. As mentioned, of course, we will see some weights there, of course, but Binance is the biggest global exchange, and it sucks a lot of retailers at the same time. So we need to be very careful, because if FTX is limiting the way up and they want to dump the price with Coinbase, maybe the Coinbase whales is using FTX as well, whoever, that's a secret information we don't have access to. But that's something we should have in mind, because in my opinion, FTX is still the main driver of the market, and Coinbase smells like institutional, and these guys are buying. So taking into account the FTX walls, I would be very, very careful to long. But of course, I will start to short maybe at 39.2. If we have a retest, if we see after the retest we have a breakout, we retest, then 39.2 would flip to resistance instead. Let us check that. So let me see. 39.2 is here. So what I have in mind is such kind. FTX is just limiting here, right? They are limiting here a little bit. It was a little bit lower, but however. So Binance was limiting there a little bit as well. So what's possible? Well, one scenario that would be a bullish one, but a bull trap. They let the price go up again. That will fail here, and then it goes down. It would retest here if it has its breakout. Retest, then that would flip from support to resistance, fail here, and we would go directly to 38.5, where Binance is waiting there with a wall. So what will happen here, in my opinion, then we would go up again. We need to remember that FTX is also limiting here. So in case the dump is aggressive, and that could be, then we could make such kind of retest, go again and fail then here. And bears would never think that, I mean, also that was my plan. I thought when we are losing the 38.5, it's over, but we have FTX there and they are waiting. So if that goes up again, there will be an insane bear trap. So we need to be very careful also shorting. Let me go back. So that's one scenario. Of course, we have different scenarios. We know Coinbase is using the sideways run to buy now, so let us also check a bullish one. But a bullish scenario, it's at the moment very difficult because I think that would be not that bullish. We are not just making the next big rally, even it's a fake rally. But we could fail here, of course, and then just make such kind of double bottom and then go up again to 40,300, 40,400 or something, and then just maintain a little bit that here, and then we need to see. That would be, in my opinion, at the moment, the bullish scenario. I see more here a bearish one. So patience is always key. Our volume is declining. I mean, we had here a little retest of 40K, and that's where the volume rised a little bit, but in general, it's declining. And that's the problem of the weekends. It's declining even more, and they could try a bull trap and then dump the price afterwards. That's also possible. However, and you know that, and I told that many times, 40K is the key level at the moment. That's one resistance we need to cross. We have at the same moment here a trend line. So we can see it retested the trend line, it failed, then it retested here the trend line, but at the same time the 40K, it failed. We need to see what's going to happen next. If we see it's going up again to retest the 40K, be very careful. Be very, very careful. 39.2, it's the next level. We need to see what's happening there. We failed there several times and we went up. So also it's possible that we make that here. Could be possible as long if the X maintains here with its walls. We will bounce and go down again, and maybe not. Let me see, just okay. We would just maintain the trend line a little bit, and maybe afterwards then would be a bull trap, of course, then afterwards. So we need to see what's happening at 39.2. Even if we go down, I wouldn't short until I see what's happening at 39.2. If I see we can really just make such kind, when I see, okay, the retest fails, I will start to short here and take a quick or tiny stop loss just in case, but that usually doesn't happen, but in case they flip and they did just a bear trap, I would use then that area here maybe until here as a stop loss. Otherwise, then just let dump the price until 38.5 and see what's happening there. That's my trading plan. Of course, that's not financial advice. I don't need to tell you that. That's my disclaimer. But that's actually what I have in mind. I mean, I'm shorting, but I would add more to my short if we go and can retest successful the 39.2 and I see, okay, we make our retest to the resistance, we fail, and then we go down. There I will put more to my short. Yeah, and then see what's happening at 38.5. I mean, last time we failed there, and you remember what happened, right? I mean, I have mentioned that in my last analysis. It did everything what I have said. So it went just down, and then I was just expecting such kind, and it didn't. It just went up immediately, retested again, crossed it, and look. I mean, it did a very well move. It was bullish. It was a fake rally, but it was bullish. They did it very well. I mean, I don't like such kind of of aggressive dumps and pumps like that here, but that's okay. I mean, that's part of it. But and something like I would expect here at the moment, just walking sideways with the trend line, and they tried twice now to retest. They failed, and in my opinion, they could try it again, but afterwards, taking into account the exchange walls at FTX, taking into account the Coinbase is buying the spot, preparing something, I would expect really that we dump today or tomorrow this weekend. So that's it. 1 hour. Wow. So let us talk about your questions. Let me check. Okay, I don't see any questions on Discord. No. Okay. So let me then see what's happening here on YouTube. So, Robin, hello, happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you very much, mate. You too. Can you make sure the sound is loud enough? It's better than usual, though. Romain, I don't know. I mean, do you hear me now? Is that loud enough? Or because it's almost maximum showing me here, it would be wonder if you can't hear me. Drew Gods, hey, that's not accurate. Binance perps is 1-to-1. There are no long versus shorts. Hey, bro, good evening. Okay. I mean, are you talking about the funding rates? Or are you talking about the placed? Because many people are just don't get the difference because between funding rate and, for example, the long short ratio. Okay, so the blockchain whispers is only showing you it's not the funding rate here. That's just indicating you on Binance right now you have more longs. They don't tell you if the longs that they have placed or the longs you can see here that they placed them 2 days ago or 2 hours ago. That's something that the funding rate is indicating you. But Binance is showing you here they still have more longs than shorts. So the funding rate, just to make it more clear, to make it very easy, we just have two traders. And I'm going to place, for example, two shorts now. The funding rate will decline. You place one long. The funding rate would rise a little bit more, just would lift up. That's it. That's what the funding rate is indicating you. But it's not showing you we have two shorts and one long. And that's what, in my opinion, Blockchain Whispers is showing you here. That's just a short-long ratio on blockchain. So not in a period of time. In general, it's indicating you we have on Binance at the moment 2.6 million in value in longs versus 800 million in shorts. So we need to separate funding rate in this data here, okay? Because we have two different quality of information then. That's something you need to understand, and that's why it depends of if we have, for example, a higher or a rising a funding rate above of 0.1, longs have to pay to shorts. And just to how can I explain that? That's going maybe to maybe I need to tweet about that to make very clear what's the difference or what funding rate means, because I get many comments and they are wrong in understanding. They think, hey, the funding rate is rising. We have much more longs there than shorts, and no, that's not true. Just the demand. Roland, thanks, bro. Please never die. I think that's not in our hands, but thank you very much. So I will just make me such questions, please, on Twitter, because I think it makes more sense if I explain that to all the people there, because I noticed that in several comments that people doesn't really know what the funding rate means. And long-short ratio, for example, okay? Like I mean, if you check the Bitfinex funding rate, sometimes you will see the funding rate is declining. But Bitfinex always have more longs than shorts there. Always. So it doesn't, it's not telling you that the longs are disappearing and we have 2 billion in shorts on Bitfinex. It's just indicating you that some people are demanding more shorts than longs. So that's everything in a period of time, usually 8 hours. Okay, that's it. That's the whole magic. So let me see, Roland, maybe their strategy for reach low price is dump, generate RSI, dump again, pump back RSI, and again. Yeah. I'm not sure if institutionals. Okay. I'm exchanging some ideas with George, because we both are working with institutionals, and so sometimes we can talk about how our clients and so on just trade sometimes. I just can say FEEP, RSI, and such kind of indicators are interesting for institutionals because that's the language of retailers. That's not their language. So if they want to fool you, they use your language to fool you. But they don't care about that. Okay? And RSI in what time frame? 1 week, 1 day, 1 hour? When it's oversold and when it's overbought? I mean, and that's why I'm just analyzing on-chain. I just want to figure out supply and demand. And that's why I said several times, if I see accumulation, if I see that people are buying, are accumulating, I'm going to flip to bullish. You will see the most bullish guy on Twitter. Not laser eye, of course, but I was very bullish last year before summer. Very bullish. But since then, the market has changed a lot. And I try to be just realistic. Just because we did a new all-time high, but with more low volume, bringing some problems and so on and so forth. I mean, yeah, I long too. I just trade the market. I don't care. But however, I have detected that change in the market. And it's becoming more weak. And I don't see that institutionals are accumulating. And that matches very well to Genesis OTC report of the last 3 quarters, telling us institutionals' demand for Bitcoin is just declining, 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 declining. Since quarter 1 2021 to quarter 4 2021, 50%. That's a lot. But nobody is talking about. Their report is available for everyone. Just take a look to that. I have tweeted the report of OTC. It's the biggest OTC, okay? But nobody cares about. That's the big problem. So RSI, yeah, I know what you mean. That's the language of retailers and less of institutionals. They choose, of course, different tools to sell, to buy, but at the end, it's just money. They just want to make money. Roland, big players need very low price for enter. Depends. Depends. Brando, Inspo, do you think the downward spiral but swift or slow? And what are the main indicators to keep an eye for when to expect this? Well, Brando, first of all, as mentioned, I mean, the whole market, just as every market, the basic key is supply and demand. You have 2 apples, I want 2 apples, then you can tell me what price you want, and if I'm hungry enough, I will pay that. Otherwise, I will miss that. That's it. We don't need to talk about much more. So if you want some nice indicators, first one is CBD. Okay, CBD is not 100% accurate. Don't use it for higher time frames, because then you will see some. Well, it's as mentioned, it's not 100% accurate, but it's very, very nice if you can combine the CBD with other indicators. Other indicators is, for example, to see entity changes, weights ratio, and that's why I'm using all these indicators. For me, the big key is just to follow the flows, just to see what these guys are doing. Funding rate and so on, it's just very interesting just because they use the futures to hold the price and to hide their distribution like they did in the past. So it's not just use 2 indicators and that's it. You need to combine that, but the key is almost supply and demand. That's the only thing, because that's what the price controls. Elia, I just covered you and I'm in love with you. Okay, thank you very much. The way you lead your analysis. Please keep it on with the good work. Thank you. Thank you very much, Elia. Big love. Thanks for your words. Bruh, you just blocked my Twitter account. Why? I blocked you? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I can't say that. I really don't know. I'm sorry. If you are on Discord, just send me just drop me a line. I need to check you then. I really don't know that. Sorry, mate. Rowan, yeah, the beer trap setup would make sense. Lose 38.5 for a few ticks, grab short liquidity, and then the nasty pump that traps them. And then let the market do the rest up to 44. Yeah, 44 or 41, 42, it doesn't matter. I mean, but that would be a very insane bear trap because nobody would expect that. I mean, I was surprised to see just that wall there. And if TX, oh God, Sam knows how to play. So we will see if he can wreck me or not. Um, what's your win rate? I don't know, mate. I just trade. Sometimes I'm losing, of course. Nobody is perfect. But I would say if I wouldn't make more money than losing, I would stop to trade. So I don't know. On Twitter, I'm not going to tell what influencer it was, but once he wrote, "I'm the best analyst here on Twitter. My my trade rates or my win rates are 95 or 98%." Okay, if he feels better with that, go ahead. But I, I'm definitely not doing 95%. Also not maybe 80, sometimes 75. So it depends. Sometimes I mean, greed is a bitch, and yeah, sometimes I also think, oh, come on, we can do another $500, and then, yeah, they pump up. That happens. As said, I'm not perfect. Cody, Julian, audio is okay. That's perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, it's on. Okay, great videos made, very accurate analysis. Thanks, Didi. Romain, I just wanted to make sure before the live was starting. Okay, yeah, thanks, Romain. Thank you very much, bro. Can you explain how futures can hold the price while they are selling spot? I can do that, but we are talking now that more than 1 hour. I have retweeted different times a very nice video. I mean, he is talking 1 hour about that. So I would say I can retweet that again, but I would say if I'm not wrong and you are using the same username like on Twitter, that's exactly, I mean, then you have watched that video. Cillian, for long short ratio. I don't get your question, bro. ASC, please explain how derivatives affect the BTC price. Okay, another one. Maybe I should make a tutorial about that. I will do that. Or you watch the video because this guy invested at least several hours making this video, and he's explaining that and very nice. He's talking and taking perpetuals, and but the case is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Thanks, bro. Please never. Okay. Sir Augustus, how about option strategy on April month end? Well, what I have detected related to option trading, it looks a little bit more bearish than bullish, but it's very close to our current price, so nothing where I would say they are expecting a huge dump, for example. In the last weeks, they were mostly trading, yeah, sideways strategies and less volatility strategies. So in my opinion, they are not expecting huge, I mean, I'm talking about huge price moves like we dump hard to 25,000. Many people have this in mind. I have said many times in the past, if we dump very hard, for me, my favorite level is 24K. And just, I have one reason. No, because the 24 is my favorite number, but the 24, between 24 and 26K, we still have a CME gap there. And as we know that futures are becoming more and more important to the market. I mean, we have launched a new future ETF just 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and more are in the queue. So it would make sense then to fill this gap. But Inspo is not a fan of filling unfilled gaps because I know a lot of different assets that are trading very well with unfilled gaps. But well, I mean, futures are in the power here at the moment. We have almost 60 to 70% of the whole volume every day is made by derivatives and not by spot, and spot is declining even more. So if we dump hard, 24 to 26k is my favorite level. C, would you consider make a trading course? Yes. At least we are talking and writing a concept where we will make workshops, where we will show you on-chain analysis, but on-chain combined with other indicators, also non-on-chain, that gives you a feeling what the market is doing at the moment, or at least what the market makers is doing. So we will show you more about option trading, for example, different strategies, skew, something it's not part of my analysis, not yet. We will talk, for example, more in deep about futures, difference, funding rates, long-short ratio, and so on and so forth. CBDs, what does it mean? How to combine CBD with other indicators that make sense and gives you a better picture of the situation related to supply and demand in the market. That's actually what we are building at the moment. We are creating, and we will make such kind of tutorials, workshops, and so on soon. We have the branding, we have the name for the next website, we have the domains reserved already and booked. Now we are designing a little bit, and we will bring then a lot of content is already there, but we need to bring that everything to the website. Then we will launch the website. I will make such kind of statement very soon on Twitter with a roadmap, because we will bring also an application for mobile phones, and where you can learn also via mobile, via cell. So yes, we will make that. Javier, thanks for your analysis and show your knowledge with us. Thank you very much, mate. Do you think institutional are primarily counter-trading retailer or majority sentiment, and they use TA or PA is just a tool to fool them? The real indicator is identifying the general sentiments. Yes, it is. That's exactly the point. I mean, that's I like TA. No doubts. I really like TA, and I use trend lines, and I use different, I use Cypher, I use RSI, I use that too. But institutionals don't care. That's the language of the retailers, as mentioned before, and they use that just, yes, of course, to fool you. Yes, so bear traps, bull traps, what does that mean? What means a bull trap? A bull trap means we have a trend line, for example, or just a level, a situation where we expect it will bounce, but it didn't. Why not? That's what they use, because they knew that the main retailers were expecting a bounce there. And that's what they are doing. So they don't care. They just try to figure out what retailers think. Retailers and other little whales are the victims. They have a lot of money just masses, can provide them the liquidity they need. And that's the retailers. And now back to our current situation, more and more retailers are leaving the market. And that's a big problem for them, because and that's what we are seeing at the moment. Sometimes I think they are playing just each other, between whales. Sometimes I think exchanges are now playing a bigger role in the market and the price action. But yeah, we are missing, since last summer, we are missing a lot of demand by retailers, unfortunately. And I think one thing or one situation was actually the China crypto ban. That was really big pain for the market, in my opinion. So let us see, which indirectly also means general supply and demand. Yeah, Joker, but that's exactly the point. Canis Testis, I find your blockchain analysis very interesting. Thank you very much, bro. Thanks. I'm Mohammed. Your life is same as $10,000 package. It's so useful. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Inspo. Thanks, mate. Roland, guys, do not forget like this video. Thanks, Roland. Whoa, man. Player Wario. Hi, mate. Whoa, man. It's revelation going through their washing. Thanks as always. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I mean, we are talking since 1 hour and 20 minutes now. I will just check the last, comments and questions, and then close the session. Romain, on the last 3 days, close MACD cross bearish, which one previous history, a drop of around 35% on average. I didn't happen many times. Yeah, okay, but pattern, history, we how can I explain that? Because I don't want to crash all your things and your strategies, because it's nice. I like to see that you guys want to learn. I like to see that you guys are so motivated to learn new technologies, or techniques at least, to figure out where the price can bounce and so on and so forth. But history, this market, the global situation, can you compare 2022 with 2015? Or, I mean, that's the big problem I have. Even if you are checking the last days, okay, then you are analyzing a shorter period of the history, and then you have 4 or 5 days. Then we have the same level of the global conditions, at least. But I mean, the market is something that is alive. It will change. After 30, 40, 50 years, you will see that the main actors in the market maybe use always the same pattern, and that's where it starts to become very interesting to detect such kind of patterns. I mean, check Elliott waves, check Wyckoff. These guys didn't say, hey, I have detected in 1 week such pattern, I'm going to write a book about that. It's something that has to grow, and that's why I wasn't a big fan of Plan B's models. And I have said in several times, the market is not in a situation to make such kind of models. Not yet. Maybe in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, with mass adoption, with a regulation framework, and then we can talk about that. But it's too early. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend analyzing every day the market. I would just make long-term investments, and that's fine. But the market can flip very easy, very quick. And that's why I'm spending every day hours and hours checking the data and, yeah, sharing the data and my results with you. Romain, you are very active today. Do you think Trading Light is your biggest tool for trading? Binance Future Worlds are really helpful. Um, as mentioned, it's not. It's a combination. If I see, for example, a big option trade with huge volume and premium, showing me that someone is placing an put trade indicating 35 put, so indicating he expects a price below 35K. That's much more helpful than every, well, not every exchange wall, but even if I see some walls with 100, 200, 300 Bitcoin at 36K, I wouldn't care about. If someone has the money to pay a lot of premium for a short-term trade indicating that he expects below 35K, I know he has enough dump ammo to go to 35K and below. So it depends. It's not like a religion. Yeah, sometimes you need to compare, and that's what I'm doing. I'm checking all the data and then I make my own summary. So, okay, we have some exchange walls there. I see that Coinbase is accumulating quick, but all the remaining are not. I see that Binance has a lot of longs. At the same time, I see that FTX is limiting the way up, and so on and so forth. That's a process, okay? And that's something, it takes a little bit to learn that, but as soon you have that, it works very easy and quick. And that's what I'm trying. And that's why my my analysis is always the same. Starting with Wales ratio, then we are talking about futures, spot activities, and so on and so forth. Because all these indicators have a relevance, and we need to combine them. At the end, they are telling you a whole story, and that's it. Well, 1.5 hours, guy. Now I'm tired. I would say thank you very much for watching. I will check if I can see something. Um, so, okay. I would say that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Big, big love to you. And yeah, you know, I will record tomorrow an analysis. So don't wonder if I'm just tweeting a new link to YouTube where the title of the video is in Spanish or in German, because I'm going to record tomorrow for the Spanish community and for the German community a market analysis. And I think, and hopefully, because YouTube has some problems now with automated subtitles, hopefully they can process the English subtitle then, and you can see that. Okay? So thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget, the weekend is to rest. Okay? So don't stress yourself trading all the time. Spend your time with your family, with people you love. Enjoy, chill a little bit, and we will see us Monday with the daily analysis. And of course, I will tweet. As soon as I detect something that looks interesting, I will tweet about that. You know me. Okay, big love, guys. Thank you very much. Romain, Germany. Bye bye.